Ladies and gentlemen, it's always a great honor to be associated with anything that my friend Osama does. There's so many faces that one has greatly admired and wanted to emulate, uh, but not with great success most of the time. To be exposed to remarkable, innovative minds who've performed in diverse fields using modern ICT is something that I'm supposed to say it in one word: exhilarating. It's uh, it's it sort of digitalizes one's personality. You feel wonderful, and I think if something gives you a sense of hope for our country, it's this. It's to see young people reaching out, um, exploring into the vast recesses of the mind ultimately, because mind is where all knowledge belongs, and exploring it in myriad ways that work to change our lives in a dramatic way. When I say this, I say it conscious of many of the negative connotations that go with social media. We just saw the best and the most productive and positive side of social media and its applications, but we do know that there are some worrisome sides about social media that nobody really knows what to do about anywhere in the world. There is just um, what shall I call it, a civilizational change happening in our midst. And when civilizational changes happen, you don't always know where they will end and what you will finally do with it. But civilizational changes do not accept any barriers. They don't like being dammed. They don't like being obstructed. And they do, in a sense, like a river in a flood. They sweep away anything that's in their path, irrespective of whether it has an intrinsic worth or value, whether it's good or it's bad. It just gets swept away, and some new reality emerges. And I think in many, many ways, that's what is happening. I don't know if it's happening in the rest of the world to the same extent, but one looks around the Arab Spring and what you see happening in Thailand and happening in other parts of the world, you think, well, we couldn't be doing too badly because things are a lot tougher and a lot more extreme elsewhere in the world than it is in India. But there is also in India a churning taking place, and I do really hope that that churning will take us to a destination that is a little bit like the destinations that we have seen here, rather than a destination of destruction. And I say this with hope, because I think change must ultimately bring hope. But there is a bottom line, and I hope that some of us here, when we go back, reflect upon this. There is something about a national discourse that we need to carefully secure. We have known civilizational discourse in our country. We have been known for the best of thoughts and the best of ideas. But we suddenly find that our language is becoming violent, our discourse is becoming violent. Even if we don't touch each other to hurt, we are able to hurt each other just through language. And I say this today, conscious of the fact that perhaps today the world has lost a remarkable soul. We've lost Dr. Nelson Mandela, who after Mahatma Gandhi, I think, has inspired Indians like nobody else has inspired. And I think of him in my meetings that I had with that man soon after he was released from prison, 27 years of the lonely life, as his life sort of passed him by, and he remained in Robben Island, and then he came out, and the words that he recalled, as he says, he walked out of prison into freedom for the first time in 27 years. He said, I felt that I had to release myself of all hatred and all sense of bitterness. Because if I hadn't done that, despite walking out of the prison walls and despite being free, I would have remained permanently in a prison. And the emancipation that I got, freedom I got from my captors, was a freedom that was in their hands. But the freedom that I had to give to myself was a freedom that was in my hands. And I thought, what a wonderful man he was, and how we are impoverished and deprived by his passing away. But then life finally does call curtains at some time. He lived a good life in terms of being able to see that his struggle succeeded. And I think here there are many people who've shown to us that they have dreams. They've come here with wonderful dreams. They've fulfilled some of those dreams to an extent. And Osama, you and your colleagues have obviously given them a little help, a nudge, done some hand-holding, and I think this will go a long way. And some of these very remarkable people who are present here, including Marde Mujahid today, my friend Wajahat Habibullah Saab. I think that it's not a bad name to have, frankly. I mean, I think it's a wonderful name. I mean, not your real name, but the name that you were given. But I say this only because I think it's wonderful to have these people here. Mr. Chandrasekhar's new job is to continue to use and expand the digital revolution of our country. I'm grateful that you thought of me and you got me to come here. Many of the things that you have given awards for, I have to admit to you, as a Minister of Government of India, I'm trying very hard to do in my own constituency, and I can't, because there are problems, and I realize that if there are problems for doing simple thing, there must be so many more problems doing harder and more complicated things like you do. But congratulations, and I know that you've put me between dinner and the awards. Two good things. Now that's not a fair thing to do. To place me between two very good things: awards, which are over, and the eagerness, therefore, to get out must be there, and the rumbling stomachs, which must be saying it's time for us to go and eat. Well, enjoy your meal tonight. You've earned it. You've earned it, and I think we're all very proud of you that you have done so well. So many others who are probably even beyond the special mentions. I hope that we will see more of them come in the years forward. Thank you once again, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you all.